Hey, my diverse speaker, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, today I am going to get straight to the point. Stop waiting for permission. What do I mean by this? So, have you ever been in a situation where you are talking to someone that's rolled into your DMs and they've asked you to speak? And you're like, yay, woohoo, hopefully this is going to be great and a good deal. But then they say the four words which we all hate to hear as diverse speakers, and that's there's no budget, right? Um, and then it goes downhill from there because obviously it's not going to be a great deal, and it's not worth the time really. If they are prepared to invest in you as a speaker, or speakers in general for part and parcel of being a vital ingredient for their event, then really what is the point? But this is the thing. We as speakers, diverse speakers, sometimes are too eager and too keen to, get evidence for our portfolio, to, want to be seen to be speaking. But the point that I'm making here is that not every deal is a good deal and that we should be more discerning. And this is what hampers us and actually adds to a system which isn't stacked in our favor. The whole there's no budget is a systemic issue from event organizers, organizations, and the people that run the events. Because, like I said in my LinkedIn post dated today, which is let me just double check, the 15th of January 2026, every event organizer logically has a spreadsheet and a budget of all the things that it takes to run an event. That is your venue, that is your food, that is your marketing materials. That's everything that you need to run a good event. And to my mind, speakers is a budget line item that should be included in every event organizer's event. However, it has not been, and that's been a choice. It's a choice that's been allowed to perpetuate through privilege, and building on the fact that a lot of speakers, diverse speakers primarily, are eager and keen to get that experience, to get that evidence, and they're prepared to do that deal without question. But what I'm saying to us today and every day is that we need to be more questioning. We need to ask more questions about, the statement of there's no budget, because it's not really real. And so we need to be mindful of that and aware of that, and so decide to make different choices around the rooms and spaces that we give our time and attention to. I'm of the opinion that yes, we primarily want to be paid to speak. We're going to ask the budget and we're going to negotiate and we're going to get the best deal, that works for us in terms of our speaker fees and ranges. However, if there is a secondary deal to be done, that is the leverage deal. The leverage deal is getting something back in kind. So that is clips, that is photos, that is access to decision makers, but it is quantifiable things that are cashable in the future. They're not wishy-washy things like the typical ticket, drinks, goodie bags. All of that is, quite frankly, not, of equal value or worth to actually doing a trade where the leverage is appropriate for the fact that you give your time, your effort, your energy, you got to prepare, you've got to do all the things that you need to do in order to deliver a quality talk, workshop, keynote, whatever speaking product that is that you deliver, right? So the point I'm making here is that the leverage deal needs to be leveraged where you are assured that in the future you'll be able to cash it, or you'll be able to use it to build your pipeline. Because at the end of the day, speaking is a relationship business, and being able to build relationships with key people in the industry, whether it's event organizers, budget holders, learning development, heads of the relevant departments that you need to work with, then that is all great and good. But the point here is that waiting for permission, that waiting to be seen, that waiting to be valued and heard is costing you like 6K every 6 months. Because when we are passive in that speaker mindset, when we are, wanting validation from the event organizers, which is the wrong place to get that validation, it has to come from us. has to be internal, because otherwise we're at their mercy. And that's why the perpetuation of there's no budget, and the deals that we strike in that domain remain, because we have not, decided to take ownership and leadership. And so today, I launched a manifesto called the Permission-Based Leadership Manifesto on LinkedIn, and that goes through, helping diverse speakers to be more discerning, helping them to lean into asking, helping them to see that asking is leading, helping them to be reminded that they are the prize, they have the expertise, the value, and all of the things that the event organizers or budget holders want in order to create a good event. But it's upon us to take ownership of that, because when we don't, then we strike bad deals, poor deals, and we don't actually move forward within our transition from free to V, or level up a speaking game. And how that harms you when it comes to showing up visibly on LinkedIn is, some of these deals that we strike in the there's no budget of domain, you get poor assets. You don't get high quality assets. You get, add-ons. You get things that are basically scraps, because they are not really wanting to do online deals. So when you're thinking about the deals that you make sure that you're going into it with your eyes open, and that you are seeking a high quality of leverage to bring back to LinkedIn, because you don't want to be bringing poor quality photos, videos, or testimonials back. Because remember, as much as speaking isn't a beauty pageant, it is a beauty pageant when it comes to actually, does this person look trustworthy? Do I think that they are low risk? Everybody wants a low risk, right? And looking at low risk is it not being necessarily you paying thousands of pounds to get amazing headshots or photography or footage or whatever, but it is being mindful that what you bring back onto LinkedIn needs to be of a good standard. It needs to be high quality. Don't use it if it doesn't look like you'd want to receive or you'd want to see. You want to use the best shots. And the other thing I want to say about this is it's more than okay to just have like 5, between 1 to 6 images that are high quality, that you just rinse and repeat and rotate, because nobody cares as long as they look the part, as long as they look high quality, they are showing you speaking with a crowd, interacting, engaging, whatever the case may be, but make it be quality. The same with the clips. Don't bother with low quality clips, because that just shows that you're not understanding that whilst it's not beauty pageant per se, it is in a sense where everyone must be assured that you're going to keep up the standard and the image of that particular event, organization, professional association, institution, whatever it is. So you do need to be mindful that having the right caliber and quality of assets is important. So when we're doing these deals, make sure that we get good quality assets, or we just don't use them. We take it as just practicing our muscle of speaking and delivering, and that's all well and good. And by the same token, it's important for us to gather testimonials. So get them written, get them in video form, get as many different, get them in audio form. Get them using high quality screenshots from either work that you've done with customers or clients. That's the best. You want to make sure that we're getting testimonials. Again, testimonials need to come back. You want to be plugging your paid speaker visibility gap with high quality footage of you speaking, testimonies, and making sure that you're feeding the machine on a regular basis. But as I'm saying, we need to make sure that we are proactive, that we are standing behind ourselves and our expertise and our value and our worth. And that, if we have some doubts and worries, that we work on ourselves. We get coaching, we speak to a friend, but we don't, when we're in the speaker briefing meeting, seek the validation that is not theirs to give. It's for us to come to the meeting confident of what is we're offering, and seeking to be proactive about asking for the budget, about talking about the transformation we're going to give, talking about the amazing outcomes and problems that we're going to solve for them, if we can strike the right deal. So we are coming forward with that, thinking through how we're going to be a problem solver, the outcomes we're going to deliver, and the value of the transformation. So that when we come to talk about the budget and our fees, we are saying it from a place of actually, yes, I am going to be solving £1,000,000 or dollar, lira, euro, whatever your currency is, problems, right? Because all organizations have big problems. They're not small. That's why they're seeking outside help to get those results. So in that context, our fees need to be aligned to the fact that we are actually, saving them time, making them money, helping them to push a new initiative, and that means that we are anchored in the fact that it costs to deliver an amazing product, service, and all of the goodness that we have to give them, and that is not a couple £100. So all be reminded of that. So if you resonate with the issues I've been talking about in this video, please do DM me on LinkedIn with the word audit, and I'll be happy to help and support you. The final word that I want to say is, you are the prize. You have to anchor in that you are providing expertise, knowledge, and that by being able to assert boundaries, you're showing leadership. And when you do that, you get better results. And it's better for you to close down a conversation which doesn't respect or value your time or your efforts, because there are always other opportunities. And I want you to believe and know there are always other opportunities. I think sometimes there's a tendency to believe that there's not enough in the marketplace. And actually there is. However, it's about finding the right organizations and the right organizers to work with, because actually, as I always say, you teach people how to treat you as a paid speaker. So I just wanted to end with that, because it's super important to remember and to repeat, or choose your own mantra that is about aligning your value and your worth. That is about you intimately believing that, so that every time that you're going to these meetings, that's front and center, because you have to lead with your own anchoring and be able to walk away appropriately, because otherwise, as I like to say, everyone is self-interested and everyone is concerned with his or her budget, and they're not going to be able to see your value if you're not coming forward with it confidently and appropriately, through discussing problem solving and anchoring in the value of the bigger picture of what you're offering. So until next time, take care and see you soon.